Why is it that so many of us find ourselves pouring endless energy into relationships only to feel increasingly invisible, undervalued, and completely disrespected? You text back immediately. You rearrange your schedule at a moment's notice. You're always available, always accommodating, always trying to prove your worth. And yet, something feels off. The more you chase, the more they seem to pull away. The more you give, the less they seem to appreciate. The harder you try to earn their respect, the less respect they actually show you. It's a painful cycle that leaves you questioning your own value. And today, we're going to break it down and build something better. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly respected in a relationship? When you felt seen for who you are, not just what you can provide? Think about it. The uncomfortable truth many of us need to hear: respect isn't something you can chase down or convince someone to give you. In fact, the more desperately you pursue it, the more elusive it becomes. The problem isn't that you're not doing enough. The problem is that you're doing too much of the wrong thing. Let's talk about people pleasing, that constant need to accommodate, to say yes when you want to say no, to be available 24/7, to silence your own needs in favor of theirs. You might think this behavior demonstrates your value, that it shows how supportive, understanding, and worthy of love you are. But here's what it actually communicates: I don't believe I'm enough on my own. Every time you drop everything for someone who gives you nothing in return, every time you accept disrespect without consequence, you're reinforcing the idea that you are less valuable than they are. And people don't respect what they believe has little value. It's a harsh truth, but it's one that can set you free. Because the real path to earning respect in your relationships isn't about doing more. It's about honoring yourself enough to do less. So what exactly should you stop doing if you want others to respect you? First, stop being universally available. When you make yourself constantly accessible, always answering texts within seconds, always free whenever they want to see you,
you're sending a clear message. My time has no value. Think about the people you respect most in your life. They have boundaries around their time. They have full lives that don't revolve around being at someone else's beck and call. This doesn't mean playing mind game. It simply means having a life that's rich and full enough that you're not sitting around waiting for someone else's attention. Reclaim your calendar. Invest in your passion, your friendship, your personal growth. When someone respects your time, they're more likely to respect you. Second, stop apologizing for your existence. How many times have you started a sentence with "sorry, but"?
When you hadn't done anything wrong? How often do you apologize before stating a preference or expressing a need? Sorry to bother you, but sorry, I just think that maybe. Sorry, can I just say something real quick? Each unnecessary apology chips away at how others perceive your worth. It positions you as an inconvenience before you've even spoken. Your thoughts, feelings, and needs aren't burdens to be apologized. They're valid expressions of who you are. Practice removing those reflexive sorries. Stand firmly in your right to take up space in your relation. Your voice matters. Stop apologizing for using. Third, and this is crucial, stop accepting disrespect without consequence. Every relationship teaches people how to treat you. When someone disrespects your time, dismisses your feeling, or devalues your contribution, and you respond by trying harder to please them, you've just taught them that disrespecting you works. This isn't about dramatic ultimatum. It's about quiet, consistent boundaries. It's about calmly saying, when you're late without letting me know, I feel disrespected. I value our time together, and I need that to be mutual. It's about recognizing when someone consistently makes you feel smaller or unheard, and being willing to step back from that dynamic. Because sometimes the most powerful way to communicate your worth is to walk away from those who don't recognize. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but if I stop bending over backward for them, won't they just leave? The honest answer is, some might. Some people are drawn to relationships where they can take more than they give. They're comfortable with the dynamic where you're constantly proving your worth while they offer little in return. And yes, when you stop participating in that unbalanced exchange, those people might drift away. But ask yourself, is that really a loss? Or is it making space for connections with people who value you, not for what you can do for them, but for who you fundamentally are? The painful irony is this: the relationships where you feel you need to earn love through constant people-pleasing are exactly the relationships where you'll never feel truly loved. Real respect cannot be begged for, negotiated, or earned through self-abandonment. It grows naturally in the fertile ground of self-respect. Think about it. How can you expect others to value what you yourself are constantly discounting? How can you expect them to respect boundaries you never set? The people who truly belong in your life don't need you to shrink yourself or silence your needs to keep them around. They see your value without you having to constantly prove it. They respect your time without you having to earn it. They honor your boundaries because they understand that healthy relationships require them. So where do we go from here? How do we break the cycle of chasing respect and start attracting it instead? It begins with a fundamental shift in how you approach relationships. Instead of asking, what can I do to make them value me? Start asking, does this person's behavior reflect the value I know I bring. Instead of wondering, how can I get them to respect me? Ask yourself, am I respecting myself in this dynamic? This shift isn't easy. When you've built your relationship patterns around making yourself smaller to please others, standing firmly in your worth can feel uncomfortable, even frightening. You might worry that you're being selfish, that you're asking for too much, that no one will want you if you start honoring your own needs. I understand those fears. They're real, and they come from somewhere genuine. But here's what's also real. Your worth isn't determined by how much you can accommodate or how available you can make yourself. Your worth is inherent. It exists whether anyone recognizes it or not, and the first person who needs to fully recognize it is you. So start small. Practice saying no when you mean no. Set one boundary this week and hold it. Let a text sit for an hour before responding if you're always the one rushing to reply. Speak your mind in a conversation where you'd normally stay silent. Notice how it feels in your body when you honor yourself this way. Notice the discomfort, yes, but also notice the quiet dignity that rises up when you treat yourself with the respect you deserve. Because the truth is, the way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. When you consistently demonstrate that you value your time, your feelings, and your boundaries, you send a clear message about what you will and won't accept in relationship. And the people who are meant for you, the ones capable of healthy, respectful connection, will respond by rising to meet you there. Let me be clear, this isn't about becoming cold or closed off. It's not about building walls or playing games. It's about cultivating enough self-worth that you no longer feel compelled to chase after people who don't freely offer you the respect you deserve. It's about understanding that the most attractive quality you can develop isn't availability or accommodation, it's authentic self-respect. I want to leave you with this thought. Imagine a relationship where you never have to question your worth, where respect isn't something you're constantly trying to earn, but something that forms the foundation of every interaction. Imagine the freedom of knowing that you don't have to twist yourself into knots trying to be enough for someone else. That kind of relationship is possible, but it begins with how you relate to yourself. So today, I invite you to stop doing the things that signal to others that your time, your feelings, and your presence are worth less than theirs. Stop being universally available. Stop apologizing for your existence. Stop accepting disrespect without consequence. Instead, start treating yourself like someone worthy of profound respect, because you are. And the people who belong in your life will recognize that. Not because you've convinced them through endless self-sacrifice, but because they were capable of seeing it all along. The respect you seek in relationships isn't found in doing more. It's found in being more true to yourself. And that journey begins today.